Greetings, peace everyone. Welcome to Community Radio. I'm your host, Kim. I'm also the facilitator of the class-based webinars on SaduluHouse.com, where we teach different concepts of spirituality. Sometimes we get into this stuff and we don't really have as much information as we think we do. So the classes that I teach kind of break those things down so that you can understand the fundamentals of them. So, for instance, if you want to learn about crystals or how to do cleansings, things about herbs, oils, all that kind of stuff that's related to spirituality and ritual. We break those concepts down so that you can really understand what you're doing instead of just kind of trying to follow a recipe when you're doing your spiritual work. So to check those classes out, make sure you visit SaduluHouse.com, and they are under the shop tab. And we have quite a few classes out now. There should be about 7. What I'm working on is converting some of the older ones that we did before, because a lot of people have been asking about them. They missed it the first go round, so they kind of want to come back and pick those up. So they are available. And today, if you would like to call in and make a comment or talk about anything, the number is 347-945-7680. So yesterday, we had a special guest. We had Chief Uyasa come in and help out a little bit. And we were just talking about action and actually doing things. And he challenged some of the men that were on the call to actually commit to doing something. And I thought that was really cool, because a lot of times we get on these shows and stuff and we just talk about it and we talk about it and talk about it, but no one ever actually challenges us to do anything. So he called him out and put him on the spot and said, what can you commit to? So today I kind of wanted to focus on the women and talk about what we do or what we can do. And one of the things that I will share, since Chief shared some things yesterday, is that I knew also has a women's group. So as you heard yesterday, if you caught the show, in the near future, we're going to separate the teachings for the men and the women. And I think this is really good because it gives women a chance to kind of commune with each other in the, where we won't have to be, I guess, lumped in with the men, because when you do that, it just kind of creates some distractions. And plus, it kind of teaches us to learn how to get back to dealing with each other. A lot of times, we claim, we love to talk about and shout about sisterhood and all this other kind of stuff, but we still fight with some very basic things when it comes to other women. And that's cattiness, jealousy, and just, we just don't know how to relate to each other. We don't know how to be friends anymore. We're always in competition with each other and constantly just trying to one up the other person or something like that. So today I kind of wanted to get on the women and talk about the women. And it's so sad because a lot of times women need community. Like, we need to talk. And sometimes we turn our relationships into that, which is whether we realize it or not. Men are not trying to hear all of that. They don't want to hear about your, whatever some girl, woman did to you, whatever, all that kind of gossip and sit around and talk about hair and things like that. They do not want to hear it. They may entertain you just because they don't want to hear it. And that's really what your girlfriends are for. And again, when we separate and do that, it kind of brings some of the mystery back to our relationship and to just womanhood in general. Nowadays, everything is just out there. There's nothing private anymore between the sexes. And I think that hinders our relationships sometimes, because everything is just way too open. Men know too much about women's stuff, and women know too much about men's stuff, and then we think we're an expert on the other sex. So it just kind of loses some of the mystique that goes around, that centers around womanhood and things that we do, because we are those witches, those spiritual energies. So separating us, I think, is a really good solution to that, and it'll help bring us back to some sort of community amongst each other. So again, 347-945-7680 if you would like to comment. I do see that we have some callers on the line, so if you'd like to say anything, contribute anything, just press the number 1 and I'll bring you in. And again, like I said, Chief shared yesterday that we're going to start separating the men from the women. And I just wanted you all to know that we do have a women's group. So if you're interested, make sure you email us at, go to our A New Life Global page, anewlifeglobal.com, and you can kind of sign up there and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you want to contribute. So one of the things that we do with the women's group is, of course, we talk about, things going on with women, but we talk about spiritual concepts and we do spiritual work. So this is important because I see a lot on Facebook, Instagram, and everything of just a lot of solitary witches. Solitary witches. All the women are just kind of doing things on their own. And it's okay, but the thing about it is there's more power in numbers. Like, you can affect things so much more in a big group, in a group of women. Your power is amplified. But I think, too, another reason for this maybe is because women don't like to be challenged or corrected. They just want to feel like their witchiness is on point. They don't want anybody to say, you know what, why don't you try this? Or this works, or that works. It's like we feel like we just know how to do everything. and that brings me back to the spiritual classes that we offer on Sadulu House. Some of those concepts, we feel like our intuition is just, will tell us everything. And we've never really had any kind of training on these things to really know. And so sometimes your magic doesn't work. But because you function alone and you just post pictures on Instagram of you grinding up some herbs or something, and you posture yourself as a witch, you try to throw out this vibe that you're really affecting something by yourself. And so, like I said, the key is to start to work with other women so that you can really make some things happen, and so that you can sharpen your skills. So I'm going to bring in one caller. I see someone with their hand up. 347, you're on Community Radio. Peace.
Peace, Sister Kim. It's Michelle.
Peace.
How are you doing?
Peace, Michelle. How are you today? Thanks for calling.
I'm doing great. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. I was thinking about talking or not, but I have a baby. He's awake, so I don't know if he make too much noise. But hopefully he'll stay quiet.
Okay.
I just wanted to give my 2 cents about the women's group since I'm in it, and I wanted to kind of see talk about what I'm noticing so far. And I see that when you're doing it in a group of women, it's not only easier to communicate, it's also you are more motivated to learn,
right?
Because of the energies that have to work harmoniously, and then you start noticing these things like the need for balance, things that you don't learn in a book or you can't learn on a website, and plus and with the group and with the whole foundation that is based on our new, you kind of have to gain knowledge on top of your intuition. There's certain things that we do that or we know, quote unquote, how you feel, but if you know what it's actually doing, it kind of amplifies the power,
right?
So it's almost like a lighter, a flame of a lighter compared to a torch or a comet tail,
right?
So
because your
way
feelings
more
can be
powerful.
off. Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of times our intuition and our emotions and feelings are off, way off the meter, and you're not doing anything. So yeah.
And I also feel like if you know what, for example, salt is used for, when you're throwing the salt, your intention is going to amplify its power.
Right.
So
right,
so
because
right, and it's it's something that has been so invaluable for me these past couple of days, doing these rituals, because it's something that you can't learn in a book. You can't, as much as I would like to, you can't.
Right.
And you have to kind of do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to do it, you have to be willing to change and notice things about yourself, drop the ego.
Because that's something that will come out when you start working with other women. And this may be a reason why we stay away from each other, is because we don't want to reveal ourselves to other women, because we put up this facade like we're so deep and we know so much stuff that once you really start working in a group, it may be revealed that you really don't know anything, And that's one of the problems I find with a lot of women that work by themselves. Because I have approached some people, and I'll talk about my experience just with working with women in groups, is that, again, like I said, we say we want to work in groups and we want to be in this community where we can talk to other women and, the sisterhood, post the sisterhood pictures on Facebook and stuff. But once you get in that group, nobody talks. Nobody says anything. Only maybe one or a couple of people, 2 or 3 people really contribute. Nobody's actually doing the work, and you can feel it. That's another thing I wanted to mention. When you start working in groups, you can feel each other, and you'll start to have similar experiences. And that's how you know your stuff is working. That's how you know that you are amassing some type of power between each other, between you and the other women. And so, when you work by yourself and you're just this little solitary renegade witch, so there's nobody to check you on that. Nobody can come back and say, well, this didn't work. Why do you use this or why do you use that? There's no, they don't have to be accountable for anything. And I think that's why they stay separate.
But also, I've noticed a lot of the solitary witches, they don't have a man. Like, I've noticed that the witches that they call themselves witches are single, and then the witches that I know are witches, and the baby, the witches that are in a couple with like a man, they're actual witches, but they don't know that they are. But I see how their magic is really powerful, depending on, good or bad, whatever, but it's still,
and that's another secret. Right, that's another secret that a lot of women don't realize too, is that you have to have that complete circuit to really make magic happen. You have to have the balance of positive and negative energy coming together to create something. You can't generate a spark by yourself. You got to have both charges present. And like Chica's always said, the key to magic is the whole triad. The man, the woman, and the child. That's your complete unit right there. And that's how you create things, when you have all 3 components present. So doing all this stuff by yourself, you're just not going to generate as much power as you think you can. And I think that if we as women really get that, because I have experienced it and I have seen it. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and share, if you don't mind, Michelle, that you are in the women's group. And you know that the very first ritual we did, you and I and a couple of other sisters, we all had similar experiences. When it rained where you were, it rained where I was, it rained where another sister was, and we're in so everybody will know, we're hundreds, if not thousands of miles apart from each other. So the experiences are real, the power of it is real, but we are also connected to, we also have a male leader, of our group as well. So we're not just renegade people, just a group of just women just vibing out or using our intuition and going on feelings. Like, we have direction, and we have some things that we're working with that a lot of other women may not. But that power is very real, and you will start to have these experiences and dreams and all of these things when you do rituals together. You will start to affect things as a group.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, that was really. I mean, there's no words to describe. It's almost like humbling. It really is humbling, just when you start seeing the synchronicity.
Right.
Now, when you start seeing your words come alive, literally, and it's very cool. But it's very dangerous too. Like, I can actually see how, like, if you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't know who you're doing it with, like, it could be very, very, very dangerous for you.
Right.
Because there's envy, there's greed, right? Like, I know for myself, I have to pick very carefully what kind of women associate with me because of my family, because of how happy I am. I feel the jealousy and the envy, and it's just, I feel like it's unnecessary, but it's just there, you know, and you can't really do anything about it. And those are the kind of things that subconsciously seed into the rituals when you're working with other women, and that can actually harm you and backfire.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I was so excited to join, you know, the new group, because I know what kind of people, you know, what kind of intentions, what kind of stuff, you know, not stuff, but what kind of magic is behind it, you know, so.
Right.
So you always have to be very careful.
And like you said, things will start to come out even in this group. You know what I mean? Like I said, you'll start to notice things. But if you want a true sisterhood, and this is the key, if you really want a true sisterhood, you got to know that we're there to support each other through it. Because we all have so much stuff. You know, we all have so much stuff we're working through. I was speaking with a family member earlier today, and they were just saying that, you know, we have all these people that come and say, oh, they're a healer. I'm a healer. You know, I heal people, or I have this, you know, have this service, and they're advertising the stuff. And they got so much crap going on in their lives. Like, who are you healing? And you are this, you know, damaged. So, like I said, that being a lone thing and trying to work by yourself and to posture yourself as something, that can be a dangerous thing. You have no family, no nothing, because there's no community that can vouch for you and say your stuff works or your stuff doesn't work, you know, or anything like that. It's just, you know, you can just kind of hide in the shadows. I remember I approached someone and tried to invite them in, and this person seemed to be like, you know, a really witchy person. You know, they post all the right stuff and say they're working on this and working on that. So I was like, that's cool. Like, let me see if they want to, you know, if they want to come in or whatever. And as soon as I did that, well, you know, no, I don't think so. I'm, you know, I got some stuff I need to work on myself before I can join a group. And it's like, how do you know what's wrong with you if you're not functioning within a community? Because you would have all that stuff straightened out by now if you could fix it by yourself. So that's another excuse that we all use, is that, you know, no, you know, I that sounds good, but I think I'm just gonna work on myself. I got stuff I need to work on myself before I join a group. We use the same excuse when it comes to relationships, because we don't want people to know that we got crap, you know, in our lives. And whether people know it or not, we all do. I don't care how advanced you seem to think you are, we're still human. So you're going to have crap. But if you have that community there, like a community of women, a lot of women have some of the same issues. We're not as unique as we think we are. A lot of women have the same stupid issues. And we have to invoke that spirit of sisterhood so that we can help each other through it and deal with it, instead of just being out there by ourselves trying to deal with it or jump into a relationship with the crap, you know? Are you still there, Michelle?
Yeah, I'm still here. I just put on mute for a little bit because the baby's a little giggly.
That's fine. But I'll go ahead and bring another call. Oh, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Now, I was going to say that I agree. I mean, I'm the first one to say that I've changed so much since joining the new community, because there's a lot of things that I used to do, or even like how I used to act, you know, that if it wasn't brought to my attention, how it was seen by other people, I would have continued on my little arrogant ways, you know. So
that
community is very important.
Right.
Community is very important.
And to the and really, I think we're afraid of that. We don't want to be called out on our stuff. You know what I mean? I think we're really scared of that. For somebody to say, you know what, that don't work. You're using the wrong stuff, or you know, you talk too much, or you're not a good listener. We don't want to hear that. You know, like I said, we don't want to be vulnerable. We really don't want true friendship. We just want to make sure we post pictures. Like we're in that age now where it seems like if you just post a picture of yourself with people or doing something, that makes you official. And, you know, like I said, the thing about ritual and even, you know, the things that Chief teaches is, like he says, even his title and everything, people don't realize it's a title. It's not a Facebook gimmick, you know, something that he uses to get more people on Facebook. Like, it's a title. It's an actual earned title. Is that those titles are earned within a community, because then there are people that can vouch for you and say, oh yeah, we know that this person does what they say they're going to do. You know what I mean? So being alone and working alone, I think that's we say we want community, we say we want sisterhood, we want some people to talk to. Women, I get along with women better than I do men. I mean, I get along with men better than I do women, that kind of stuff. It's just because you don't want to be close to another woman. You really don't want it, because then it may bring out some issues you have with jealousy. You know, it may bring out some insecurities you have about yourself. But like I said, little do they know, we all have these things. We all have some of that going on, you know. But if we're there for each other, to support each other, we can work through it together. I'm going to bring in 813. 813 on Community Radio. Greetings.
Greetings, family. How y'all doing?
Peace, Anwar. How are you?
So, I don't want to get too deep into the discussion because it's ladies' time. But I just want to comment on one thing about the community concept of when we're doing rituals, and not only that, just community concept of relationships that we build. I am like I understand, and I can really comprehend everything that you're saying about doing things by yourself. You know, in my life right now, I'm very I'm very solo right now. So a lot of the stuff I've been doing personally has just been by myself, for myself. So, you know, the energy I'm working for myself is also is working on building a community and so forth, so on. So, you know, I still have like little taboos from like the system that I was kind of rooted up in, because I was kind of dealing with the leukemia Santeria system, and you know, I just had like people tell me, you can't do this, you can't do that, and I'm still got a little taboo that it's like I don't want to do that, because I've been told in the past that I shouldn't do that, I shouldn't do that, and from that community, I kind of had to shift my way out of it, because it was just people language, but it was a lot of full of shit people in there, and I couldn't deal with it, you know. So I had to go on my own and start kind of developing my own craft, because I wasn't being taught. I don't want to say I wasn't being taught correctly. It wasn't until I found Chief, and Chief really straightened my whole attitude out, and I related so well with Chief because of the way he came at it with his aspect. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, that community, and that's the reason why I can really. I know I'm driving down a bumpy road to the party.
Okay.
But that aspect that he brought forth in me has made me want to develop a community. Or extend the community over here, but a lot of the people that I speak to nowadays, I can't have these conversations. I can't have I can't speak on the information that I'm learning from Chief with them, because it's going to be against the way they've been taught, or it's not going to be accurate. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You're not a priest. You can't do that. So forth, so on, and so on. And I, like, even like, let's say, like giving blood, sacrificing the animal. You know, I've been told from Git that you don't do that. Only priests do that. Nobody else but priests do that. So I've never done that myself, and I still won't do that. I just don't see the purpose in it for me personally. You know what I'm saying? I've had experiences on that, and I just, even with eleckees, you know, I was told the only way you receive eleckees is by somebody telling your orishas or your ancestors that you're allowed to have these. So it's just to me, I think it's a lot of ridiculous scheming that's going inside of this community. But then I'm also thinking about the community that I would rather be in, and the people I would rather be around. You know, and eliminating certain people, like you were saying about people that said, I thought it was like this, but I have to back up off this situation because I don't feel enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to decipher those types of people in your community, especially when they're coming at you with the full attire of what we're working with, the dress for what it's working with, but not really living the lifestyle or the culture of what they're working with.
Well, you know what, Anwar? I think the issues that you have, you know, a lot of us experience the same thing, but Chief has even told you that he's experienced that in the Ifa or Orisha community. And I've said this before, sometimes we can be, just because we come out of Christianity or Islam, you know, whatever your religion was, we come out of that and we drop it and trash it and then try to jump into African spirituality or something else, but we come with the same dogmatic, fundamental attitudes that we had in Christianity. So we're saying, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't light a candle, you're supposed to light a candle, don't light a candle, you can't, you know, they have all of these rules of what you can and can't do. And when you come to somebody like Chief, who is, like I said, who has earned his titles and does a lot more than he even speaks about or talks about. People don't even realize some of the stuff that he does, who is very advanced in what he does. He comes around and he breaks all of that down. Like, you know, he's like, you know, I'm doing it. Whatever, he said, whatever somebody told him not to do, he went and did it. Those are the things that he ran to. So I think even Chief faces things like that within the Orisha community. But what people don't know is those same people who are telling you not to do this and not to do that, guess what? They're students. And they're just not telling anybody. They're signed up for the class. They're learning the stuff, and then they're going back to their own elays or whatever, and then they're teaching the same stuff that you're learning in our new spiritual training, phase 1. They're just keeping it real hush-hush, because I've been listening, and I've heard other people's shows and things. I'm like, I know you got that from Chief because of the way that it was phrased. You know, and I've never heard anyone break down Ifa or Orisha information the way Chief has. Most people just regurgitate the things that they've read in books, which Chief has told me a lot of those books are really research papers that people did in college, you know, that it just turned into a book, because this is an oral tradition and because you have to be under someone to learn some of these concepts. And most of the stuff Chief teaches, like I said, is from experience. You're not going to get it in a book. The interpretations you get, you're not going to get it in a book. You have to experience these things, and everybody's experience is going to be different, possibly. There'll be a lot of commonalities, but some things are just going to be unique to your own experience. But yeah, Chief has ran into the same thing, just like I have. Like I said, when trying to work with other women or trying to work with other people, like people present themselves as one thing, and then when they come into a group or a community of people, they realize, oh, I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. And then they get embarrassed by that, or they feel ashamed. But like I said, I think that's one of the good things about what we're doing now when we're separating the men and the women. And the teaching is that women can learn from other women about our stuff, and the men can do the same, and we're not competing with each other. We're not, well, there's going to be some competition within each group, I guess, but we're not trying to put on so many airs in front of each other, to try to get a mate or whatever, flirting with this man. Y'all supposed to be trying to learn, whatever that is. But, like, she faces that kind of stuff. I've done it when I've tried to start groups or whatever. People just are very dogmatic about spirituality and religion. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do this. And they're not realizing some of these rules that these people come up with for this stuff are cultural. It has nothing to do.
Or financial. It's two of them. It's cultural or financial. One of the two.
Right.
And what I've like my soul is screaming, do what you need to do. Don't let nobody bound you into anything that you need to do for your life. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to Chief when he really said, in order for a ritual to really work, you have to be in it. You know what I'm saying? You already have to be in it. The ritual is just the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? You have to transform into, you have to transform yourself into that process of what you want.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Like I said, my soul is screaming, like, why are we listening to this? Because number one, it doesn't make sense. Don't eat black beans. Don't drink coconut water. Don't eat coconut. That, like, what, if you think about these elements, you're talking about nutrition here. A coconut is completely absorbed in nutrition. You know what I'm saying? It's got electrolytes and so forth, so on. We'll break that down. And then black bean, just certain things that just like, number one, if we even break it down to Africa, really, that black bean did not, I even did a research on this. The black bean don't even come from Africa's in Central Park. It comes from the Himalayas, in that area. That's where the black bean was originally found. So, and it was brought into a European Spanish culture and made into a staple dish. So, and then on top of that, you think about the black bean itself, it's fully melanated. It's one of the most melanated things you can look at. And you're telling me I can't eat that.
Like I said, it's cultural. A lot of things are cultural. I was, again, speaking with someone earlier, and we were watching a movie, and in the movie there was a scene where there were some Santeria practitioners and people doing a ceremony. And I was looking at it, and it was something that I always wondered about. I was like, why, when they do these dances and things, why do they wear these huge, big, huge skirts? Like the women wear these big skirts that they fan around and have all these ruffles and all this other kind of stuff. I was like, where does this costume come from? When they do these things, or where does that costume come from? Because I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. If you're in South America or in Cuba, it's hot. Nobody's wearing clothes like that every day. So where does it come from? And you have to really have to go back and think about it. Those are slave clothes. Those are European slave clothes. Like, that's what they wore. They wore those big hoop skirts with the, with the corsets and all of that kind of stuff and the big old ruffles. Those are plantation clothes.
Honestly, and that's another thing. Yeah, and that's another thing that I question too, is that because you're fully clothed, like literally you have underpants underneath the skirt, but there's an attraction that happens between male and female when we see our bodies. We were confident in our bodies and our African mind. We didn't look at our bodies as something as in disgust or something just super hypersexual. We looked at our bodies as earthly things. And these were things that when we watched the dance, the males dance, the females dance, there was things moving and shaking and things was vibrating. There was things happening inside of that image. And I still don't get to myself too. And the funny thing, like I was talking about my experience the other day, is like, how are you getting dressed up in a costume that truthfully your heritage, your culture brought onto people that did not have that. You didn't even experience the hardship that went into this outfit. So Yeah, there's a lot of things about that for me, but I want to let the sisters talk again. I just want to put my 2 cents in real quick.
Okay.
I'm afraid to mute. I'll chime in a little bit later.
Okay. Thanks, Omar. Yeah, so a lot of these things that we do, like I was saying earlier, is cultural, and we don't even realize it. I'll give you another example. I recently did a class on candle magic, which is out, and again, it's on SaduluHouse.com, and speaking about how you can use candles in rituals and what you're really doing with candles. But the thing about it is, one of the things that I was taught by Chief is that candles are actually, it's not even a Yoruba custom. Like, I won't say Yoruba because that's not a religion, but it's not used in Orisha or Ifa practice. That's a Santeria thing. And that's because it comes from a Catholic tradition of, lighting candles for the saints. Like, we didn't do that. We didn't incorporate candles in that type of work, in our spiritual work in Africa. If you really want to take it all the way back to Africa, we didn't even do that. That's a Catholic thing that was carried into Santeria. But we do it all the time and don't even realize it. And again, this is why those classes that I do on SaduluHouse.com are important, because a lot of these concepts, we do it and we don't have a clue why we're doing it or what it actually is. If we're working with crystals, what is a crystal? Same thing that Chief has said before about people who claim, there's certain energies. Oh, I'm a Oshun energy, or oh, I'm a Yemojai energy. And a very basic question that you can ask is, okay, what is water? And they can't even answer it. They don't even know what water is. They can't give you a definition of what water is. And so these are some things that you learn in the Anu spiritual training phase 1, as well as all of the other things that Chief teaches. These are some things that you learn. You learn some basics, and you'll be surprised. A lot of people don't have the basics. They don't have a clue what they're saying, even when they're just doing a general water offering. We do Omi Tutu, Ona Tutu. They couldn't tell you what one word means, or what giving water means. Or what if I don't want to use water? What if I use something? Do I have to use water every single time when I make an offering? What's the significance of pouring water? So some of those things you'll be surprised to find out. A lot of people don't have a clue. They don't know what that means. And so that brings me back to what I was saying about working within a community and working within a group. And that's so that you can learn from other people, because you'll also find that a lot of people don't ask those basic questions because they're too embarrassed. They don't want to appear like they don't know. So when you can kind of separate the men from the women and work in a community of people, where you have a community of women that are working together and they're bonded in true sisterhood. So there's a comfort level there where you can say, oh, I didn't know this, thank you. Or I didn't know that. Then you can learn, instead of just kind of going off by yourself, just being this lone priestess. And Chief has told you 100 times, if you are working with somebody that claims they're a priest or a priestess and they have no family, run. If they don't have a family, if they don't have a spouse or children, you don't need to be sitting underneath these people. Because true magic has to have all of those components. It's the same thing what Anwar was saying when we were talking about the clothing in ritual. A lot of times you're naked doing a lot of these rituals, and people don't do that anymore because of those taboos and embarrassments and things they have with each other when you have to present yourself in front of somebody. If you're working with somebody, they're scared to reveal all of that. But it's that positive and negative, the interplay of that positive and negative charge, and there's nothing coming in between it. And that's how you get creation. That's how you get power. You can't flip on a light switch if you don't have that complete circuit. You got to have that power going through that circuit. You got to have both energies. Okay, I'm going to bring in another caller. Those of you that are on hold, okay, I think they dropped. Let me see if they did that on purpose. 314. You're on community radio. 314? Okay. 314? Are you there?
I'm here, but I didn't mean to push the button.
Oh, you didn't mean to push the button? Okay. All right. I'll put you back on hold. If you have a question or a comment, just press the number 1, okay?
Okay, thank you, sis.
All right. So, again, we're just talking about yesterday, Chief got on to the men and really put it on them to like, okay, what can you commit to? Like you said, men will sit around and pontificate all day and not do anything. So when all these men were speaking, he called them out and said, okay, what can you commit to? Make sure you email me. Give me your information so that you can join the men's group. And nowadays, you have a lot of people who have postured themselves as leaders, and they're really just lecturers. Some of them aren't very good at it, by the way. But really, they're just lecturers, and nobody's actually doing anything. So Chief opened up and let you all know about some of the things that we're doing with Anu Nation, like the Africa Initiative, like the men's group, like the women's group, and a few other things. So if you're interested, again, make sure you go to anulifeglobal.com and tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us what you want to contribute to what we're doing. I'm going to bring in another caller from 501. Peace, you're on Community Radio.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Hi. I have a question.
Sure.
My first question is I heard you say the candles, and I totally agree with the thought of coming together and being humble enough, but also knowledgeable enough of yourself to be able to say, "Oh, I didn't know that." We're all in the realm of learning and teaching at the same time. The candles. You said it was dealing with Santeria. Like, did we not use some form of fire or some form of light when we were doing ritual?
What I'm speaking of specifically, you know how you can go in a botanica and you see these Eshu candles, Ogun candles, the 7-day candles?
Right, okay, yes, right, okay.
Right, we didn't do that. That's and making that candle really like a focal point in your ritual. Like if you'll notice, like we always, and not to say that there's anything wrong with it because I do use it, but in using it, we're just saying know why you're incorporating that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, a lot of people may incorporate things in rituals and they don't have a clue why they're doing it. They're just grasping at things. Give me that crystal. Give me some incense. Give me some, like a few things we don't just grab. We need incense. We need candles. We need this. And you don't have a clue why you're bringing these things in. Like, what is a crystal? What is this crystal supposed to be doing in this ritual? Because everything has to be working towards doing something. Or even just what do you include in a ritual? What are the elements of a ritual? What do we need to have to make it work? A lot of people don't know those things. So it's just, like very basic things that we teach on SaduluHouse.com and in those individual classes to try to just give you some of the basic stuff that a lot of people aren't afraid to ask. And like I said, you'd be surprised at the people that sign up. It's not, we do have like a lot of regular people that sign up, but we do have priests, so-called people who have given them the title of priest or priestess in the class, who are too ashamed to let everybody else know, oh yeah, I got this from Chief. Yeah, I'm a student of the Anu spiritual training. They're not telling you that, but they're in the beginner classes with everybody else. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I'll tell you another thing, those classes, not only, those classes are very valuable, but that first phase 1 of the training, no one has really completed that class. Maybe like 2 or 3 people have completed the class. And that's why Chief hasn't put up phase 2. And that's because phase 1 is dealing with yourself, is ministry to self. And yes, we're doing a lot of rituals. You're learning a lot, but it's about learning about what issues you have and blockages you have for yourself before you can get into the ritual. Because what people don't realize too is that if you aren't aware of those things, you'll bring those things into your ritual, and that can hinder your stuff from working as well. That can create a blockage. So the importance of, like I said, just working together and just stop being, this lone self titled priest or priestess, like that's just not gonna work anymore. And we have a lot of that. I've seen a ton of people like that on Facebook, Instagram. Everybody does readings. Everybody does rituals. Like everybody.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, you in the training too. And you're already
I'll see you.
Yeah. I'm like, you in there with me. What's going on here? So, but then again, like I said, we're in this culture of social media where you can kind of hide behind an avatar and you have no community that you function in. So there's nobody to check you on it and say, wait a minute, this is not what you do. You live in the basement of your mother's house. You giving out wealth rituals and you broke. What is this about? Are you not doing these rituals? Are your rituals not working? What's going on here? So when we don't see, we can put costumes on. I can put shells all through my hair. I can, put well, I can't put shells in my hair. I'm almost bald.
But I see with you. I know where you're getting at.
Yeah, you put them on. I can take mad Facebook pictures. I can light candles. I can put crystals in a circle. I can do all this kind of stuff and post that stuff on Facebook, and people will think it's so deep. People really think you're doing something. And little do they know I might be living in my car. So, again, like I said, that working in a community is really important, because not only does it help you to develop your own character, but it also legitimizes you. Like I said, Chief has Chief Haru Yuya Asan Anu is a title. That is not his name. And it's definitely, it's an earned title, but people, we say it so loosely, Chief. And that's just because we don't really have a respect for titles, in the West, like we do, like there's respect in other countries. And that's just because, again, we don't respect scholarship, especially in spirituality. We feel like you ain't gotta have nothing to come in into spirituality. There's no training. Just post some stuff. Just buy buy the tools, put the clothes on, and start posting pics. So we really don't respect scholarship or respect the person's journey or the training that they've had, when coming to spirituality. But again, like I said, that's what I'm getting on the women today, because yesterday, Chief, kind of put out a call to action for the men, and he got on them. He's like, okay, men, like you said, pontificate all day. Men will sit around and talk all day and never do anything. So he just stopped and he said, okay, brother, wait a minute. What can you commit to? What can you commit to? And so today I thought, let's get the women involved, because women, we find, I don't care what system you're in, even if you're in religion, in a specific religion, women need community. We love to talk to each other. We always seem to form groups in whatever we're in. And so I just wanted everybody to know there is a women's group. You can join. All you have to do is go to anewlifeglobal.com and you can sign up. You can tell us what you can commit to, what you can do. It's a real movement. We're not just sitting around talking about it, or we're not planning, because that's another thing we get caught up in, what we plan to do. No, this has been active for some years, not last month, not, for a year. Chief has been at this work for 20 plus years. So it's active, it's working. He knows what works, knows what doesn't work. And so now he has finally kind of revealed some of the stuff that's going on within our new nation and how you can be a part of it. So I was just wondering, like, how do women feel about that? How do you all feel about it? Do women really want true sisterhood? Do we really want to function within a community?
I so desire to think that we do. The most women that I have encountered and that I have been around, including yourself, I have noticed that it is a small sense of sisterhood with those of a higher consciousness. But around most of the women that I see in where I work in the school system, it's not that way. It's a competition constantly, and I know that as I guess it's just being a human that you have some type of, or being within this society, you have some type of competition. But at some point, I find it very discouraging to have to compete for everything. That's why I totally agree with the community. I totally agree with being able to sit down with a circle of women and figure out what is it that you do, so we don't overshadow each other, but we can complement each other instead of competing with each other. When you say that, I have another question though, about the priestess and the priest. If you have a certain, or if you are, say that you are working in your, because I do a show as well, and in that show I don't really have too many women callers, or I do, but I don't really have too many insights or feedback. Okay. And I think it is because of the they think it may be some type of competition, or I think it may be, but it's really to complement every other woman that I know thinks and wants to know about their bodies and how it relates to everything. But if you don't have a mate, would you say that you can still not be able to have that flow of energy, being that you're still learning, you have learned from a masculine energy?
What I'm saying about the whole mate thing is, as long as you have somebody, if you're not mated, like some people, I'll say, like, for a lot of women that are in this thing, Chief is like a surrogate mate.
Right. Understood.
They come to him for advice. They, get readings and things like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a mate, but just have a directing, positive energy there. That male, to have that male polarity there to give you some direction. Because just what you're saying about your own show, like, I've experienced, when you're first starting out, I've experienced that as well. But one of the reasons why some of that happens too is because we don't necessarily know the business of what we're doing. That's another thing I've seen people do, like women do in spirituality or whatever, that may sell their own products or may have something that they want to do, is that they feel like because they know what they're doing, like I may make jewelry or something, I don't know, but because you know what you're doing on that end, you think that the business side is going to be just as easy, but it's not. So men are more acclimated to the world. That is what they do. It's an expansive force. So they're the ones that go out. So they're the ones that know, okay, you know what? You keep doing that. I'm going to tell you what you need to do to get it out there. And so that's what I'm speaking of. Like when we talk about magic or making magic happen, Chief will always say that you have to have that positive and negative charge. That's the ultimate magic is, the family, man, woman, and child, or just the positive and negative energy coming together, because that's when life or creation happens. It's a sexual act. And so that's what I'm saying about having a mate. As long as you have some type of direction there, because just as women, we're a lot more sheltered from the world. We should be. We are in control of that spiritual realm. That's where we live. We're the witches. Men aren't witches like that necessarily. They can't, they can do magic, they can do those things, but their energy is more expansive. It has to do with action and enlightenment. So they're the ones that can tell us how to do what we need to do. Go over here. Don't do this. Go over here. You should do it this way. So we got to have that energy. We can hold the spiritual stuff down, but you got to have that other aspect as well. Another thing he'll say is, like, recently we were talking about the whole police brutality thing. And before, when these things have come up, people always ask him, what does he think? And the first thing he'll say is, look, the men and the women shouldn't be doing the same thing. It's like, yeah, let the women stay at home and do their rituals and wear, whatever clothes they want. Let them do that. But the men shouldn't be sitting down meditating about it. He's like, what is that? Like, why am I sitting here next to my woman meditating, rubbing on crystals? No, they're supposed to be the ones out there getting bruised and battered, or whatever it is they need to do. They should be on the front lines, not the women. Because when women, we get out there, we bring ourselves. We had the babies out. I saw pictures, of this last incident. Nothing but women outside picketing, children hanging out of the car picketing with signs. Like, if something should pop off, like, where are the men? You just nothing but women and children outside, as if it was a picnic or something going on, like an outdoor concert. So,
and
yeah,
I was just gonna say, even in the sense, I know most people say, well, what about the Queen Ginsingas and the Asante Was? But even in their stance, they had some type of. It was a wartime. It was needed during that time for that particular reason. Do you think that at that time men were not in their right position, or do you think that was what was needed at that particular time in that era?
Well, actually, in those positions, like, I'm not too familiar with it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not familiar with those particular stories. So I don't know the situation surrounding the village, the country, what was going on, why those women were forced to put themselves in that position. Maybe you can shed some light on that for us and for the audience. But I have not researched that thoroughly enough to even make a comment on it as to why they had to.
Yeah, they were. More women were in. They had the population as far as women. The population of women was greater than the population of men. By that time, the men had been killed off. So a lot of the women had to, the Dahomey, they had to prepare themselves for battle. So I agree with you in regard to the men being on the front line. I also agree with the women being prepared to be on the front line if need be.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say I appreciate the time and the energy and to be able to share with you all, and that's my piece.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for contributing. Like I said, this is an open forum, so we're just talking about anything. If you want to change the subject, talk about something else. If you have information you'd like to give out, like I'll give you an opportunity to talk about your show and what you do. We do have some other callers on the line, so if you can give us some information about your show, or if you have any services or products that you would like to let everybody know about, go ahead. Go right ahead.
I say, I do a full moon show. It's on every full moon of the month, and this month will be July the 20th. It is through Blog Talk Radio under Revolution of the Soul, and it's basically connected with the 2 books that I've written. The first book was Revolution of the Soul, and it was just the journey of a woman. The second book is Revolution of the Family, and it's dealing with the woman, man, and child. We just finished doing African American calendars. All of those are available on lulu.com. You just have to shop Bennu Ankre, which is also a title. It's BENNUANKHRE. Each project is given with a gift. I make jewelry as well. So I know you were speaking of the crystals, and people just say, what is that? Crystals, but jewelry is not just supposed to be worn. It does adorn you. It has a purpose. It has a meaning. So I use copper. Copper is an electric current. It helps to allow energy to flow without losing most of the energy. So that's the reason for using copper. But yeah, about it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I know you.
What time is your show and what days? You said every full moon?
It is every full moon, and it's usually either at 5:30 a.m. or 10 p.m. 10:30 p.m. I've changed it now to 10:30 p.m. to give the full moon, to give the full moon energy at that particular time. 10:30 is, nighttime. So it used to be at 5:30 a.m., but now it's at 10:30 p.m. every full moon.
Okay. Why did you choose the full moon?
The full moon is more of like a completion time. The new moon is when you put your energy out there, watch it grow. The full moon is at completion. It's the time where you really start to figure out what have you completed, what have I done. And so I use that in relation, and also I use it in relation to the woman. To me, the woman is a complete cycle of the world, of Earth, of the universe, as well as man. But I decided to go with the full moon instead of the new moon because of the completion, because of the time to finalize things. We always start things, like you say, we plan, but we don't finish anything. So the full moon is a kind of representation of completion and how the woman and man is directed with that completion, like they complete everything. So that was my basis.
All right. Can you tell us something about your calendars? I thought that was interesting because another thing that we definitely promote in the New Order is that you create your own culture and you celebrate the holidays that you choose that your family chooses to celebrate. So, tell us about your calendars and some of the things that are included in those calendars.
I want to say thank you. First and foremost,
no problem.
Thank you. But the calendars are, like you said, yes, every month is basically just a reflection of our ancestors, descendants and ancestors, those that are alive and those that have passed on. They have certain holidays, certain holy days from other cultures, such as the gratitude feast from the Nubian culture. They have the Unity Fest information from the Moorish culture. A couple I haven't incorporated anything from Orisha, from Yoruba yet. I'm still vibing on that information. I'm just now being incited to add some things about the full moon and the new moon. And then I've added a couple of local youth that have lost their lives due to, like you said, police brutality. So those are included as well. And then one edition was dedicated strictly to crystals. So each month was just what crystal went with what day. If this energy was with this day, then you gave that energy or gave that crystal or utilized that crystal on that day. So some of the calendars had crystals in it, and some of the editions were dealing with entertainers and artists. So that complete issue was just that complete project was just dealing with the many artists that have passed, and Gil Scott Heron, just a lot of icons in our reality and realm of ancestors and descendants. And the next one is going to be dedicated to youth. So.
Okay, sounds good. And one more time, just to let everybody know how to get in contact with you, or to if they would like to order jewelry or your books, how can they reach you?
You can reach me by email. It's BENNUANKHRE@ymail.com. You are welcome to order order them online as well through lulu.com. All you have to do is shop BENNUANKHRE, BENNUANKHRE. And the jury also is through email, BENNUANKHRE@ymail.com.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for calling in. And I'm going to leave you on because, like I said, all the other callers, they're still on. Nobody, I think they may have just muted their mics because sometimes when we start talking, everybody, may want to just jump in. And that's kind of what it is. I'm not muting anybody. We're just all in this conversation together. So for you and for all of the other listeners that may have muted their mic who are still on, feel free to jump in the conversation whenever you like. Again, thank you, Benu, for your contribution. I'm going to leave you on, but I'm going to go ahead and bring in another caller. This is a Skype caller. Peace, you're on Community Radio.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon. Greetings.
Greetings.
Hi. I have a couple of questions, actually.
Sure.
I've tuned in maybe 3-4 times, and I don't recall hearing whether or not the shows are being archived, one. And with regards to the women's community, do you have to be a part of the NU family to join and be a part of that?
Well, the Anu family is one thing, but if you're talking about just joining the group, like you can join the group. Now, if you want to, because there definitely are levels to things. But if you would like to come in and contribute some talents or whatever you may have, because like say for instance, you are good at, I don't know, marketing or something. We may have something else that a place for you where you can kind of shine more and use those talents more than just, doing ritual or whatever it is that you want to do. So that's why we ask, like if you go to anulifeglobal.com, tell us about yourself and what your gifts are and what you bring to the table. So it just depends on, on what you want to do with us. Of course, if you want to participate in some of the deeper things that we do, like we're speaking about the women's group and doing rituals and things, we do ask that you be a part of the culture, at least understand the culture, because it is a group that's formed by Chief Yuya. So I'm not leading it. No other woman is leading so-called, the women's group. Is not a sister girl magic group. It's led and directed by Chief Yuya. So you would definitely have to agree with the teachings that we have at the Anu spiritual order. Yeah. And then at some point you're going to want to do it anyway, just because you have to know what you're doing, to be effective. So and again, it's a community of sharing. So and we're sharing these ideas. So like I said, it's not a sister girl group where somebody's gonna come in and think they're gonna be Iyanla Van Zant and tell everybody else what to do. No, we do have someone that's directing us and telling us what to do. Now, as far as, all the other stuff with support and helping us get through our own crap, that's on us. But no particular woman is running the show.
All right, thank you for that. And what about the archiving aspect?
Yes, the show is archived. It's on our Enlightenment and Transformation channel on YouTube. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So again, I see we do have some more callers on the line. If you'd like to call and contribute to have a comment, question, anything, you can call 347-945-7680 and just press the number 1 and I can bring you in. And so earlier, Sister Michelle and I kind of started the conversation off because she is in the women's group. And we were just speaking of the importance of women sharing and learning together, away from the men. We still have the direction of men, but just the importance of having that and to have like a real true connection. Not just talking about it, because like I said, we've experienced things together and we're nowhere physically close to each other. So the collective power of women when you come together to do rituals or to do spiritual work is amplified, I can't tell you how by what degree, but it's definitely amplified. I'm going to bring in another caller at 919. Peace, you're on Community Radio.
Greetings, good afternoon.
Greetings.
Hi. I was calling. I was led to this station probably about a month ago, and I've been listening to archives. And I just was calling, as you're speaking about women today and the women's group, could I get, or is there a show, number one, that perhaps I could go back and find in the archives that describes more what the female archetype is? I listened to a show yesterday, a Chief Speaks and call-in show, and he was speaking about how so many females today really operate in a more masculine, I guess, in a male fashion. And I just wanted to gather more understanding on, as a female, what our roles are. In this particular show I listened to, he was speaking to a young lady and like pretty much saying like she was trying to run things and she needed to step back. And so I wanted to gather more understanding upon that. And I also just think that having a women's group and a women's community is so needed in this day and age. But I think if I had more of an understanding of what the female role should be, I would be able to operate better with males and females.
Okay. Well, first I just want to say, make sure you just join the group, because that's another. I have to say, it's another cop out that a lot of women use. You know, that whole thing. Well, I'm just going to sit back and watch. I'm just going to sit back and try to figure out myself what's wrong with me. Well, if you could do that, you'd already know. So we have to be able to be vulnerable enough to learn within a community, because you can't see your own crap. You can't point out your own, your own BS. So that's one of the reasons for the community. But if you want to check out some older shows, they're like probably over 500 shows on enlightenment, and you can go to enlightenmentandtransformation.com, and you can go, and you also have a YouTube channel, Enlightenment and Transformation. And so some of the older shows that we used to do, of course, Chief had shows he did every week: Underground Thursday, Foundational Friday. Sister Felicia Terrell, I knew, and Damon Rawls had another show on incorporating different archetypes into your business, where they handle the business of different things about owning your own business and things. I had a show, I knew a Safo. There were tons of shows. So
okay, but none. There wasn't like one show specifically dedicated to explaining that, because I feel like I'm a person who's probably out of order. I'm a woman who's probably out of order. And in my spiritual growth, I don't that it was an accident that I happened upon a particular radio show that the Chief had about Oshun, and then that just led me to listening to other archives.
Okay.
So I really go ahead.
There is another one that I can think of. There was one called Sun, Moon, and Stars that Chief did.
Okay.
There's one with women empowering women that Sister Felicia and I did together. And there's another one, I think the title was Women in Spirituality. Of course, check out the female archetypes. Like you said, you were listening to the Oshun show. There was Oshun, there was one on Yemoja, there's one on Oduduwa. There are several different archetypes, but those are just some that I can just recall offhand. Karma Sutra is another one. Karma Sutra was another show. The 64 Arts.
Okay,
and the Femme Fatale. That was another one.
The Femme Fatale. Okay, I'm gonna search and try to find all of those. And as for the community, it's an online community. Am I correct, or like do you guys meet? Is somewhere or?
Yes.
Okay.
We do have retreats and we do have meetings different times of the year. But like I said, if you're just starting, make sure that's how you can sign up. start communicating with you so we can figure out, what you do, what you can contribute. So you would go to Anu Life Global, ANULIFEGLOBAL.com. And there's in the About section, just fill that out and it will get to our organizer.
Mm-hmm.
The join part, not the About section, but the join section of that website. And she'll get that information to us, and we'll get you to the right place.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
And in the meantime, I was going to also add, you can go to saduluhouse.com, SAD as in dog, ULUHOUSE.com, and you can sign up for the classes that'll teach you a little bit more. So you can go a little bit more in depth with some of the information that she teaches.
Oh, so you guys, the community is somewhere outside of the class. It's like, I guess, I thought it was like a study group, but it's more than that.
We do have study groups.
Okay.
We have students all across the U.S. and abroad. And we do have different chapters in different states of students who have volunteered to start a study group, to start their own little, to start chapters in their cities. Where are you located?
I am in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we're actually going to have a growing community there in North Carolina. I think there's a study group in the Maryland, Virginia, D.C. area that's active, head up by one of our students. His name is Charles Evans. And if you sign up, at least sign up for the free training at saduluhouse.com, you can join the forum and get more information on that if you'd like to become a student and join that. But the women's group is different. So if that's something you want to be a part of, make sure when you fill out that information, make sure you're specific and that you say that so that we can get you to the right place. But for the students and the learning and the classes, there are new chapters in different places. But for right now, the Maryland, Virginia area is close to you.
Okay, and then specifically mention that I'm interested in the women's community.
Yes.
As well. Okay, because you guys serve as support for each other.
Right.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's great. And then I just had one quick question. It's kind of off topic, but if you are a female who maybe has gone down a path that I'm trying to say this nicely, maybe you have been out of order, right? And you've created a relationship and a dynamic within that's out of order. I'm starting to awaken, and I'm starting desire to live my highest life and live authentically, and I really want to learn these principles and apply them to my life. Do you believe that will help my spouse? Like, will he course correct, or will we be at each other's throats?
Well, I'm not sure, because one of the things that I definitely know about this is that your husband should be the head of your household. So culture should already be established through his direction. But I do understand your need your desire to want to learn more. So I'm not sure how your husband would take it, or if he would even be interested in some of the things that we're doing. I'm not sure. I mean, only you know about that relationship. But definitely, I think that learning more about feminine energy and what your role is could be beneficial to any relationship.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking my call.
You know what? There's one more thing I wanted to say to you. Actually, Chief has an excellent book on this, and it's Solutions for Dysfunctional Families. And you can get that on Amazon and through our online Botanica. Again, that's Solutions for Dysfunctional Family Relationships. And it talks about when you have a split camp, when you have one person practicing one thing and another person practicing another thing, like how do you reconcile that? How do you make it work? You know, when you have two opposing cultures trying to coexist, what do you do, and how do you work with that balance? And then just general rules on dating, on relationships, on what to do in relationships, how to handle certain situations. I mean, it's just, honestly, it's an easy read. You know, it's an easy read.
Okay.
It's super informative. Really, really, really good book. I definitely
Solutions for a Dysfunctional Family.
Solutions for Dysfunctional Families.
Okay, I will be
by
ordering
Haru. Yeah, let me give you his name. It's Haru Yuya Asan Anu, and that's HRU. Yuya is YUYA. Asan is ASSAAN -- Anu ANU.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be looking for you.
Yes, I will be signing up. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Peace. All right. So again, everyone, if you're still on the line and you have a comment, or if you just want to comment on some of the things that have been saying, you have a question about something, it doesn't have to be on this topic. It can be completely off topic. Just make sure you press 1 to be heard, or just jump in the conversation. The number to call is 347-945-7680, and just press the number 1. So I'm going to go. Oh, I hear somebody. Somebody wants to say something.
That's me.
Samar.
Just yeah. I want to know any of the brothers to chime in. You know, I set a date for my little venture. So Sunday I'm gonna gather up the little village boys, as I call them, and start working on my. I've been growing crops. I've been growing foods, bell peppers and stuff like that. And they've been in. It's time to get them out the planters and start to put them on the ground. So I got an idea of how to make some planters in my backyard. So wanted to help me. I got my 18-year-old out there. He's gonna be sweating. I'm waiting to see him. I like getting him to work.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Have you heard from any of the other men that you all were speaking with yesterday?
You know, I didn't give my email address. So I haven't had any contact. So I need to.
I do know that they did respond. Yeah, they did respond. So maybe you guys can get organized and see what you all are working with. But that's awesome, Anwar. Like she says, if you don't, for those of you who don't have family, I know you do, Anwar, but for those of you who don't have families, go out and get one. You know, it's real easy. There are tons of children in neighborhoods that don't have don't have the support that they need, or may not have anywhere to go, may not even have a family or a home or something. And I'm pretty sure like everybody knows at least 1 or 2 kids that can use that help. So like you said, if you don't have a family, go out and get one. And that's all it takes. Just start with a small group. Things don't happen in huge mass movements of people. It starts with family.
It's better to take small steps and get there completely instead of trying to take large steps and not look at where you're stepping at.
Right.
So,
I'm going to bring in another caller. Someone else has their hand up. 616. You're on radio. Greetings.
Alafia, everyone. Greetings. How you doing?
Hey.
So like that.
We can hear you.
Hello?
Peace.
Alafia, greetings.
Alafia.
That is that.
Yeah,
I'm going to call you out.
Yeah, no. I got because my phone. I don't know what happened, but my phone got disconnected when y'all got to me about what I was going to commit to bring about instant change. Tuesday.
Yeah, we were looking for you too. I know
y'all was. I was thinking all day wins. I'm like, man, they ain't finna think they chase me from nothing. But
okay.
Yeah,
Zach, are you saying your phone is not writing to Zach?
My phone is not writing exact. This is why we need an African American cell phone carrier to prevent stuff like this from happening. So that's my thing.
Or we can just learn how to work our phones.
You know, y'all been roasting me pretty bad the past couple of days. So I'm gonna take that on the chin. I'm tough. I can handle it. But yeah, what I was gonna commit is to remembering my why and sticking to my guns based off of what my why is, because like Chief has said, you know, you went from a situation where you were supposed to start your own study group to being up under someone else. And I can't allow people to continuously belittle or degrade what my goal is because they don't over-enter or understand it, or they just simply don't want to see me do it. So, you know, my goal today, what I'm going to do right now when I get off the phone with y'all is I'm finna go open up my get my business line of credit so I can start my business and just go ahead and just jump right into it.
What's your business?
What's my business? It's gonna be a rolling food truck / botanica.
Okay.
It's gonna be a smoothie truck. Yeah, it's gonna be what now?
A smoothie truck.
Yeah, a smoothie truck with, and I'm also sell botanica items as well.
Okay.
And then I'm up.
She's gonna check up on you, right? You know he gonna roast you for that, but I'm gonna let it slide. He gonna fire me up, but it's okay because when I come back with that tax exempt ID number showing that I got my Georgia business license, it'll make it okay. Okay.
Hey, did you write your business plan on that?
Yes, I already got it. Wrote down.
All right, man. I got to tap into that energy you got right there. I just started doing that yesterday at my other job, working on my own business plans, future goals and stuff, setting like 3, 5, and 7 to 30. So I'm working on it. I'm an entrepreneur, so I like seeing people open up their own business. I love that. So good wishes, greater experiences, positive affirmations, brother.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really not hard. I don't know. It depends on the state you're in, but in the state of Georgia, all you really have to do is go apply for it, and you got to sit at a city council, and ask the public if they would allow you to do it, and then just get your business license, your tax exempt ID number, and then just start getting your equipment together at that point. I think a business license in Georgia is like $55. So I'm gonna handle all that tomorrow. I'm gonna go talk to my bank right now and see like what all line of credit I can get, and just use the capital that I have and borrow against it, as opposed to getting a business loan and just jump out the window and build my wings all the way down. Like that's what I'm working on today and tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure Chief will, like I said, he's gonna check in on you and see what's up. Are you in the class?
I'm prepared though. Am I in the class? Yes, ma'am. I'm working. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. I am.
Okay. So yeah, we watching, right? We gonna make sure you on it.
Yeah.
She's gonna make sure you on it.
Yeah, because y'all will go in on me on radio and everybody will hear it, so I got to do it.
It's all love.
It's all good though. I appreciate the motivation though, because that was a wake up call. They was like, "What are you?" I had to ask myself, like, "What are you doing for real? Like, you looking? Are you trying to domesticate yourself, or are you trying to stay wild? Like, you want to be fed or you want to hunt? Which one?"
I say.
That's good, Dietrich. So yeah, we definitely gonna be looking for that then. And too, we're still gonna. We got responses from all of you yesterday, the men that were building. So yeah, we'll get that together so you all can talk to each other.
Hey, Tim, drop the email on that on contact. Where we got an email? The questions at ununation.com.
Yeah, you can send it there.
Send it there.
I didn't hear what you said at all. What did you say?
No, I was saying the men that were building, that she was building with yesterday, we did get responses from all of you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that you all get information so that we can work together.
Somebody, I can't hear nothing. Somebody's like partying.
Okay.
Somebody's like
somebody mute their line? Okay, thanks. I was just saying that we're going to make sure we get all of that information together. The brothers that were building yesterday, make sure you all get in touch with each other because we did get responses from you all.
Okay, so we just emailed a question to Anu Nation?
Yeah, questions@anunation.org.
Okay, and just put down on paper what put down in black and white what our plans are.
Whatever Chief asked y'all for yesterday.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Thanks, teacher.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate the motivation.
If you want to comment or anything, we have some other callers I'm going to bring in. You can just mute your mic, or if you want to talk, come back in.
All right.
Okay. All right, 314, you're on Community Radio. Greetings.
Greetings, Alafia family. How are you all?
Yes, how are you?
All is well. I am currently in the Atlanta area, and I was wondering if there was a study group set up here.
We will have one set up there. Are you a student?
I have not. I just looked online for the information. I am not a student at this time, but I am interested in building and becoming a part of your classes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the study groups are actually for active students.
Okay.
So,
so what about the group of people that are coming together, like sisters and all of that?
Yes, you can. If you would like to get more information on the women's group or join the women's group, you can go to anulifeglobal.com and go to the join section.
Okay.
.org. Excuse me, not .com.
Okay,
.org.
so that's the problem. I was just going to tell you, I have been on that .com, but so it's .org. Okay, thank you. I will do that now.
Yeah,
okay.
And you can sign up for that. As far as the study groups and things, go to SaduluHouse.com and you have to sign up to be a part of the class. Sign up for the classes. There are several classes on that site. We have individual spirituality classes, and then we have the free Orisha training, and then we have our new spiritual training phase 1. And so when you join those classes, there is a forum set up so that the students can talk amongst themselves as well and ask each other questions. And that's really how you can find out if there are other people in your area or groups that are already started.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, a double.
Peace. All right, let's see. We've got another caller. This is a Skype caller. Greetings.
Yeah, peace, everybody.
Peace, Brother Byron. How are you?
I'm very well today. We're doing okay. How are you doing?
Awesome. Really good.
Wonderful. I haven't been able to listen to much of the show this evening, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to I'm on my way to an event here in Nottingham, and the event is regarding prostate cancer within the African Caribbean community.
Okay.
And really, so I'm just really to give a shout out to all the men that are listening, of say around 40 and above. That prostate cancer is a major epidemic for African Caribbean men, African American men, particularly those living in the West. So I'm just really giving a shout out to the men just to try and get themselves checked out, because I was reading some data before I was coming out. 37% of prostate cancer sufferers in the States are African American men. So I'm just really giving a shout out to the men that are listening. Don't be shy, check out your health and keep yourself whole. That's really what I want to say.
Okay, thank you so much, Byron, and peace to your family as well.
Yeah, peace to yours also. Okay, have a good show. Okay,
have a good day.
Okay.
All right, so we have another caller from 706 area code. You're on Community Radio. Greetings. 706, you're on Community Radio. Okay, maybe they hit the button by mistake. I'm going to mute you, 706. If you want to come back in, just make sure you press the number 1 to speak. Okay. Oh, well, I'm just going to leave you on. I'm at 706. I'm going to go ahead and leave you on. Okay. Peace. Greetings. You're on Community Radio.
How you doing?
Peace. How are you? We can't hear you. Can you speak up a little bit? Okay, you're having some phone issues.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know about the women's study group.
Okay, it's not necessarily a study group, but we're forming a community of women. But you can go to newlifeglobal.org and make sure you go to the join section and fill out the form and the necessary information there. And make sure you specify that you want to get more information or be a part of the women's group.
Okay, what's the name again?
New Life Global, ANULIFEGLOBAL.org.
Okay.
Are you a student? Have you been following any of the shows, or are you a student?
No, I haven't been following. I'm not a student. Told me about it.
Oh, okay. Diedrich?
Yes, he's right here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'm about to log off because I'm leaving Starbucks right now. If I have any more questions, I'll just go to Deidre.
Okay. Or you can just come to us.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right. We've got another caller from the 864 area code. Greetings. You're on Community Radio.
Greetings, Sister Kim. How are you today?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm great. I'm just going to run down really quick. I've read Grasping the Root of Divine Power like twice. Still trying to digest that. I'm in the process of doing the Orisha class. It's free online. I've taken a few webinars. So from that, my question is, am I considered a student or no?
Well, do you feel that you're a student?
I do. I mean, because I'm doing my best with the time that I have to learn, and I'm just really trying to develop myself. I mean, I've been doing the work as often as I can. I'm to a point where I'm so caught up in the mundane, and I'm trying to figure out. Okay, from there, let me just say this: I'm interested in the support group because I just want to get to a point where I can achieve balance on a daily basis. There's some days where I'm like, okay, I'm good. From what I'm learning, it keeps me strong. But then there are some days I'm so out of whack. I just want to be able to be around an organization where, balance is the goal and developing self is the goal. And, so I'm looking for the support group for that. But the study group, because I want to be able to make sense of the information I'm taking in, because doing it alone is it's tough. Like, I'm not a dummy, but I'm a thorough learner. And so some things I'm fast at learning, some things I'm slow at, but I'm for sure a thorough learner. So I like to know the ins and outs and really be able to digest what I'm learning. And I'm more of an intimate setting type person. So if I could get connected to a study group, then I know that I'll be more can think and I can digest it better. But I feel like a student struggling to learn by herself.
Okay. Well, yeah,
and
you
I'm
are.
also going to get that dysfunctional family book because that's another issue. Like, if I was just me or single, then I would be, you know, I'm an action person, but it's very hard when you're married and you and your spouse are not on the same page spiritually. So the next thing, my plan was to get the books and read about dysfunctional families and try to find a support group. But I would like a study group too.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you are a student. One thing that you can do, you're registered for the free class, is you can join the forums. So you have a Sadulu House account, so you can, the forums that are set up there, you can use those if you have questions so you can talk to other students. Now, the study group, like the Anu chapters, where are you located?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, okay. So the study groups are actually for the phase 1 training students, because the stuff that they do is they discuss the information and, you know, all the work and stuff that goes into phase 1. So that's real. The chapters are really for that. But if you want, it is online. Now, if you do start to come in and you become, you know, come a little bit more into what we're doing, we do have like retreats and stuff that we do that you can, when we do them, make sure, you know, you visit our websites and sign up for the newsletter to kind of stay in the know of when those happen. Go to newlifeglobal.org to sign up for the women's group. Make sure when you, you know, you express your interest, that you make sure you put that in your notes somewhere, that that's what you're interested in.
Okay. And not to mention, I did, you know, I saved my money and I had a reading with Chief, and that just kind of took me a little bit over because, you know, some of the things he said, I feel like if I knew more about the culture, it'll make a little bit more sense. You know, some things are practical, but some things he said to me, I'm not even exactly sure what it meant. You know, I got it written down and I looked over it.
Okay.
Did you ask when you were on the reading with them?
I did, but whenever someone is speaking to me, I'm just kind of quiet and trying to just take it in and trying to process what you're saying to me. But yeah, I did ask some questions, but I don't know.
Did you record it?
At the time, no, I don't. I didn't have the means to do it. I don't. My cell phone. See, I'm not that great with technology either. So that's another thing. I'll tear up something.
Okay.
My husband don't really let me touch his stuff because I'll tear up stuff. So that's a disadvantage for me. Something I have to really try to learn better.
You took good notes, right?
Yes, I did. I have all my notes, and I try to listen to his shows, and when I hear him say stuff in his show that I remember him speaking about in my reading, then I'll just, you know, write it down beside my notes to make sense of it. So, I guess I just need to really get.
Yeah, let me see. Bring them to me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's really the way to learn more about your reading, because as you go along, as you develop yourself more and more, it'll start to open it. Okay, whoever that is that's screaming in the background, if you can mute your phone, that would be good. But as you start to develop yourself more, you'll start to learn what some of those things mean. The more shows you listen to, because I'm going to be honest with you, he gives away a lot of information in those archive shows. Tons and tons and tons of information. But things will start, as you start doing some of the things that he told you to do, more answers will come. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've been around for, almost 3 years now? Almost 3 years? I've only had one reading with Chief, and that's when I first signed up for the classes and everything. I've had one, and I did record the reading, but I promise you that one reading gave me enough to do for I don't know how long. And when I first got the reading, I was completely new to Orisha information and Odus and things like that as well. But as I have learned more, being a student and being in the training and everything, now I can go back and listen. I'm like, oh, that's what that meant. You know, I remember this from a show. I remember that from a show. I remember when he broke this down or broke that down. So that's why it's very important that you either record the readings or that you take really good notes, because as you start to learn more, it's going to make more sense to you. But it may not have made sense. Like, you know, don't feel bad if you didn't get everything that day that you had for reading. Because like I said, I still go back now and listen to that reading to see if I'm doing everything that he told me to do during that reading, or if I understand it a little bit more. I still have some questions about some of it, you know?
I was just kind of quiet because I was just trying to write because I knew I couldn't record. So I had questions, but, you know, it was a lot of things I never heard before, too. So I'm just writing, just, you know, like, just trusting that I can listen to his show and try to figure some things out.
Right.
Okay.
Definitely will. Definitely. And like I said, make sure that book, Grasping the Root of Divine Power, that's another, you're going to go through that book hundreds of times. So don't think, you know, if you read it a couple of times, like, okay, I got it. People will say that, and you might hear someone else tell you that, like, so don't get intimidated. You're going to read my book is so raggedy, I tell you, it's falling apart. I use that book daily, all the time. So don't be intimidated by the reading or anything. Just continue to develop yourself, take the training, go through the classes, you know, take it slow. If you want to join the women's group, you know, kind of share some of the things you're going through with some of the women, if you know, if you feel comfortable to do so or whatever. And yeah, you'll get through it. You'll get through some of the stuff. Because I'm telling you. Sure.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So when I finish the Orisha class and I get myself in a position where I can start the spiritual training, which is Ministry to Self, is there a chapter in South Carolina?
Actually, we are setting up something in North Carolina. We do have several students. Actually, we have several students there in North Carolina. And there's a group in Maryland, DC, Virginia area. And you can start a chapter. You can start, we don't have any requirements with that. You can start your own chapter as well for that area.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Once again, I enjoy your webinars and keep taking them and moving forward. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day. Peace. Omar, you had a question? You had something to say?
Yeah. Just say something about the readings. Is that there's certain information that she gives you as a reading that doesn't really pop up until like later on. Like I just had a conversation with my father yesterday, and that was there was something that was inside of my reading that popped up inside that conversation, and you get more clarity inside of your readings because from the time that it's coming. You know, these are like the things that those readings, chiefs readings especially, but readings do is that they're going to give you information of the past, present, and the future, and things that you might need to look out for, watch out for, and things that you need to do. So make sure you go. I always go back to my reading. I go back to every single one of my readings. I got a book that I've written every reading I ever had in the book, and going back into your first readings to everything that you have gathered inside of listening to them again, because I like to record mine also. But that information, you're going to find that information pop up eventually somewhere down the line. And maybe you might not understand it right now, but you will in the future.
Definitely. I totally agree, because like I said, I've been in for a minute, and I'm still there's some things I still have questions about, and there's some things that I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. You know, so it just takes time, and you have to work through it. Like some of the things that he told you, you might be able to do them right now, but some of the things you may have to build up to. So again, just going back to building yourself up, you know, continue to develop yourself and learn more, and then those things will open up for you to learn how to work with them a little bit better. But those readings are in depth. And go ahead.
Yeah, being in tune to your surroundings and nature is going to help you also decipher the codes that you're being given. So that's another thing that's helped me too. Is that just sometimes you really have to humble yourself, and not say a word, and listen to what's being said to you, and it correlates with what you've been read on. So so you got to be in tune with everything that's coming at you. Always try to accept everything with open hands. Don't ever think that you're going to give something and not receive something in return. There's always something. There's always a back and forth action going on. So make sure your hands are open to grasp that stuff that you need.
Right. Yeah, and I just want to say to those of you out there who are thinking about getting a reading or who have gotten a reading, make sure you take it seriously. Like, these aren't fortune-telling Miss Cleo reading. You know what I mean? The information that you're going to get is life-changing. It's not, like I said, it's not a Miss Cleo reading like, give me your name, your date, when you were born, and now I'm just going to tell you some astrological things about your sign. So you can just sit up and marvel at how much I can figure out about you. It's not a reading like that at all. So take it seriously. If you make an appointment, make sure you make your appointment. And if you can, download an app that will allow you to record the call. If you can't record the call, make sure you take really good notes. And I'm telling you, you better take advantage of it now, because you never know when he will completely stop doing them. I came in, like I said, pretty late, and I listened to shows where he said he used to do readings for free, or used to do them for, let's say, 21 pennies or something like that. And I'm like, what? So make sure, like I said, take advantage of it while you can, because a lot of these readings that you get nowadays are just, like I said, people telling you about your astrological sign, or just in general, you know. Oh, okay. Or just, you know, general reading where people are just kind of telling you, oh yeah, you used to be this in a past life. That's, you know, playing on your emotions and trying to just make you feel good. Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You might get some good stuff in your reading, but Chief will give you, he gonna give you all of it. You can get some bad stuff, you gonna get some good stuff, but it's definitely something that's going to help you improve your situation. And he's going to give you some things to do. That's the most important thing. You will have something. He's going to give you a list of things that you need to do to make it happen. And that's something else that you don't get in a lot of different types of readings. Like I said, I have a laundry list of things that I'm still working on. So you will definitely get something to do to help improve your situation, if you take it seriously. Some people just call to vent or something, but definitely don't, like I said, take advantage of it while you can. So don't be intimidated by your reading. Again, just keep developing yourself.
Wow, what are you doing?
Okay,
you
somebody
cleaning up Apple and stuff.
I don't know who that is, but they need to mute their phone. Okay, so again, we're coming to the end of the show. We've got about a minute and a half left. If anybody would like to make any closing statements or give us any information about yourself, or is there anything else anybody would like to ask or comment on?
Sounded like somebody who's about to get their butt torn up.
That's what it sounded like
it
to me.
Did.
Whoever it is, you better save yourself and get on whatever you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me too. So again, if you're interested in the women's group, because like I said, what Chief is all about action. If you know anything about it, the first thing you're gonna do after your reading is ask you, okay, so what's the problem? Well, why can't you get started now? That's what told me. Like, I was so overwhelmed by it, but he was like, get started. What's the problem? What do you need? I just told you what to do. So it's all about action. If you want to join the women's group, make sure you go to newlifeglobal.org to sign up, and make sure you specify that you want to be a part of the women's group, and tell us what you can bring to the organization. So Again, I am Kim, the host of Community Radio, as well as the facilitator for the class-based webinars on SaduluHouse.com. If you're interested in the classes, make sure you go there to sign up. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at The Serious Bitch. That's SIRIUSBICH. So until next Tuesday, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
Hello?
Peace. Everybody, thanks for calling. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Peace.